This is completely insane. They haven't. They're right inside the chambers. Where is Trump at the moment? How are the police getting them out? No, the Republicans objected, so the chambers got split, and then 20 minutes into speeches on both sides, recess got called because the security of the building got stormed. It's completely insane. They got masks, plastic bags over their head to protect themselves from the tear gas. USA, USA, USA. See, I don't know whether that's a good thing you're shouting that or not. The politicians are safe. They left about 15 minutes before. I don't understand why they're all willingly leaving now. This is the problem, they don't have a clue what they're doing once they got in.
What's up, y'all? How you guys doing? Super intense. Welcome, I'm Steven. I'm a live streamer and a musician. We're having fun, huh? I'm a live streamer. Repent and believe in Jesus. They're letting it happen, at least a little bit.
I still can't believe it. I mean, it took about an hour to get in the door. And they got in and rushed up.
Most of the streams I do are calmer than this, guys, if you ever want to stop by.
Yeah. Budget, Capitol building in Washington, where the Senate and Congress were sat until about half an hour ago, were stormed by MAGA supporters.
I just heard about something. I was on a video call with somebody. They had said that we got reported that some shoots in fucking in Washington and it's all on Twitter, so it was real and then it's live. And I'm like, what the fuck? Happy birthday to me.
You lived in a country yesterday. For your birthday, you get a whole new one that they're going to trash.
Yeah. Viva la revolution, baby. Let's fuck out, man. It is not a good time to be high, and I'm
Oh, I've got half a dozen streams up outside, waiting to see if any of those actually kick off.
Yo, did anybody actually get reported that they were shot?
There was reports of tear gas fired earlier on, but that was outside.
What about the government officials? Were they good or were they just leaving when this shit started, or were they gone before it started? Hey, Dave, can I come live with you?
Can you come live with me? No. We've got COVID. We got super COVID here.
I'd rather have super COVID than a bunch of motherfuckers that support Trump going around shooting up buildings.
Oh no, wrong button.
Fuck that.
Oh.
How did you find this?
No, see, no one told me there was no audio. How the fuck do I have the
I
desktop?
can hear the audio.
You can hear it through me.
Yeah, I can hear it through you and on the stream.
Can you hear that? Yeah, I
can hear it. It says it's buffering on your screen. What the fuck? And these people just act like nothing happened.
Yeah.
Just a regular Wednesday. Dude, why is there no security? What the fuck?
The security got overrun. It got completely overrun outside.
Wait, but it's the Capitol building.
It is?
Like, this should not happen.
I'm gonna have to cheat. Give me a second.
Yeah, they're reporting that in the Capitol building that there was a fucking gunfire.
Hello. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
So this is fun to watch.
Paste, duplicates. One didn't work.
Fucking God, man.
Oh, great. Now we get the religious nut jobs.
Man, like, this is fuck.
To be honest with you, I think this is the safer of the two options. The other option was to ramp up security so much that they couldn't even get near the building. And the Capitol is nearly as protected as the Senate buildings are not nearly as protected as other government buildings.
Yo, you don't think that this was like a distraction to get to them, do you?
A distraction to get to who?
The Senate building. Like, if somebody's dumb enough to fucking walk into the Capitol building and just like licking shots off, it wouldn't surprise me that that's what they were ultimately doing.
You also have to remember, the army are in both buildings, so if they really wanted them out, they'd be out. But the Senate buildings are a lot less secure. They're still secure, but they're a lot less secure. I am a little bit surprised that they weren't, the security wasn't ramped up because the politicians were in there. But this was probably the safer of the two options.
So what I'm saying is, like, they reported a shot fired in the Capitol. Why the fuck in the Capitol building? Why are these people still the fucking here?
Because if they're kicked out now, well, what's going to happen, what I can see happening, is either they're getting the kind of riot police engaged, or they're just going to let them scream themselves out. The politicians are all gone, they're all safe, they're going to let them scream themselves out, wear themselves out, and then go peacefully. Otherwise, if they kick them out now, it's going to turn violent. And either it's going to turn into a riot or it's going to turn into a massacre. And they don't want a massacre at this stage because that would be absolutely horrendous for their image. So this is the safer of the two options. So although I'm a little bit surprised that they got into the building, it's not overwhelming to me because this is what's been coming on the cards for the last 3 weeks.
It's fucking disgusting.
Do you think we're going to get any? There've been 10 arrests outside when they first tried to storm.
Dave, you're gonna get hit on YouTube. I want you to know that.
Boomers
There's
led the
either
charge.
going to be
Old
they're
men
going to
with
shut the
canes were at
doors,
front leading the
in which
charge.
case everyone inside that building is
And
fucked,
Vincent James was like one of the
or
first people in.
they're going to
I'm
let
almost
them
positive.
peacefully walk out, and they're going to get the option to peacefully walk out. But
I've seen a
I'd give
couple
it another
a couple
half an
Asian
hour
provocateurs, yes.
before
Look at this.
something happens.
Keepers.
Dave, I'm watching the stream for you. If you get hit, I'll let you know.
Yeah, I find it unlikely I'm going to get hit on by the person. The person that's running the actual stream that I'm getting it from
Yeah, but
is
YouTube
one of the people that's there.
There's nowhere
Yeah,
to go
but
without.
YouTube doesn't
The
want
cops
you
are forcing
streaming a
us out.
live stream.
I can't go in, I can't stream.
Especially at this time.
Holy shit, this is disgusting.
I can't go in the chamber.
Kita says, yeah, NBC reporting that National Guard was requested.
But that was yesterday.
I mean, dude, I knew that it was coming, but like, shit. Like, I knew that they were gonna do something fucking stupid, but this?
Well, I mean, look, this isn't stupid. I mean, it might look
you,
stupid, but it's
Moz.
organized.
No, I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about somebody walking into the fucking Capitol building and letting shots off.
Oh, that's stupid. That's just thick.
Cops, man.
But this is
Cops are trying to get us out of here.
this is not overwhelmingly surprising. If they didn't want it to happen, it wouldn't have happened. If
yeah,
you know
but
what I mean.
Crafty,
So,
they're acting
I
like
think they
nothing
planned
happened.
for it.
Right, but they're like legitly acting like, oh yeah, somebody shot up the Capitol building. Woo, let's party. Like, that's what I'm saying, that this is fucked. I'm not saying them protesting is fucked. I'm saying that they're acting like nothing has happened and everything's okay. Like, it's okay to just walk into the fucking Capitol building with a pistol and start shooting up in the fucking air.
That's mental.
Like, this dude was literally like, not even 5 minutes ago, Dave, I hope you heard it too. It's like, yeah, follow me on Twitter, on YouTube. Hashtag Jesus is king. Like, this motherfucker has no chill. And he's acting like this is the best thing that could happen. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm not a Republican. I don't really want to fucking support Republicans. But the fact that somebody walked into our Capitol building with a full-on fucking pistol and let a shot off, that concerns me.
Anyone know where it came from? Was it police? Was it the protesters? Was it who
No one
fired?
knows.
Cops and protesters.
So you really don't know if someone got in there or if it was one of the Capitol Police that was happy triggered.
I don't think
Welcome,
somebody.
everybody.
Jefferson, what do you expect later?
I appreciate every one of you,
I don't think
especially
I don't
the
think
trolls
it's
and the
a
haters.
trigger happy security guard, man. No. I don't think it is. I think somebody legitly walked in with a pistol and fucking lit the shot.
I mean, I was looking at the outside before they stormed the building, and there was literally just one row of barricades. That was it.
They said there were multiple that have been bypassed.
Yeah.
Yo,
I've
y'all
got
do
another,
guided
I've
tours
got
up in
another
here?
stream of people in the offices. Where the hell is that
Never
coming
seen
from?
the chambers.
They're in the chambers. Who the hell stream is that?
You guys know Brian Tyler Cohen?
Yes.
Yeah, he's also streaming and he's showing them breaking the windows of the Capitol Hill and then getting into the chamber.
Do you know? Have you got? Can you give me the URL?
The what?
The URL. Have you seen this?
Yep. Well, what's remarkable is the aides of the senators have been warning about this for at least a month. They've been worried about it, and they've been calling for extra protections for the buildings. And you also have to remember there's more than just senators and their immediate aides. There are office workers up those stairs as well. So it's good that it's being confined to the bottom floor.
It's not though. They're in rooms. I'm trying to get another streamer. They've kicked.
I think Jeff is right. Once the vote's official, it's gonna get worse. Especially at where it's at now.
Doors are closed now, and I'm in here.
Holy shit, man.
I'm locked in here.
This is fucking sad.
I think.
We're locked in.
Trump definitely got what he wanted.
Yep.
He just did it in a way that and now people are fucking saying follow me on Instagram. What the fuck, man?
Everybody wants their 15 minutes.
Jesus fucking Christ.
This is chaos. Zero leadership. At least I'm good at running a stream, right?
Right.
So much for 2021 being
Right.
better than 2020.
Right, that's upstairs, I think.
It's a little blurry, Dave.
Yeah, I'm thinking that.
There's pictures on Twitter of one of the guys sitting in
Yeah,
the...
that's upstairs.
Yeah.
That's in an office.
Like, I know I kind of overreacted a little bit, but fuck, man.
I mean, it seems to be well in the within the building itself. Right now, it seems to be
He
peaceful.
seems to be
No,
heading out.
there's actually reports of them breaking shit now too. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't check.
Windows, isn't it? But behind
Ricardo.
it, Gila.
Yeah, no, Ricardo. Yeah, they're busting windows open and shit.
Yeah,
In
they're
which
doing-
they do realize the amount of security cameras. They're not getting out of
They're
there
not.
without. They're now branded themselves as domestic terrorists
Dude,
for damaging the building.
Crafty, I don't mean to be disrespectful. I hope people take it. I don't think they give a fuck. I really don't.
No.
They will when they have 40 years in federal prison.
I hate to admit it, but I think Jefferson Patchcock's right. once this shit's official, it's gonna get worse.
I've seen pictures of them taking over an APC on the outside.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, I think it's gonna be nationwide, not just in Washington. I feel like a lot of people are gonna start losing their fucking minds, man. Holy shit.
They're on the 3rd floor.
I picked a really bad time to get high, Dave. Holy fuck.
So the protesters have made it to the 3rd floor.
Dave, how do you feel about people deleting messages?
What?
There's a bunch of people like, you know.
America is back. Texas for Trump 2021.
Oh, feel free to mute them, ban them, whatever.
I know that I'm a mod, but I wanted to ask you before I acted on something.
Mods, do whatever you want.
Thank you, Alden. I don't mean to be rude though, but kind of a bad time right now. But thank you, I appreciate it. Holy.
You wanted it.
Dave, do you have the link to the original stream?
This one.
Because Mario Cat was asking for it in chat. Yeah, we're just, as of right now, Dave, we're just hiding people that are, like, trying to act funny about this shit, just to let you know.
See, looking at that, the police seem to have perfect control outside.
Outside, yeah, but dude, I'm telling, like, I think this is just the beginning of it.
Yeah, but there might be orders to the police because that's the house of the people that they are inside. So they probably don't want to go and give an image that they are, being
trying to shut down a political
yeah.
Again, this is, I hate to say it, they will have to get the senators out. That's the.
I think they already did. I think that
they're in offices upstairs.
Why the fuck are they still there?
Because there's no other way out of the building.
Oh my God.
And because of where they came in, the protesters came in, they had to go out a different way. So it's that building it's a strange setup for that building. But the only way I think of getting them out would be helicopter, and they're not going to risk that.
Yo, if my tone was rude.
Does this building? I mean, we need an American. Does this building not have a train?
No.
I don't. Not that I know of. No.
No, it doesn't.
Crafty, if I was rude, I apologize.
Oh no, by all means.
From a security perspective, what they're probably going to do now is get the National Guard to give them firepower. Then they will move the senators. They will not risk it.
Yeah, they're not going to.
No,
they don't have the firepower.
The senators, from what I'm hearing from different news sources, is that the senators are in blocked off rooms, individual rooms, and they're in the house room. So each party has a house room. It's not called a house room. It's basically one.
My question is: do you guys think that do you think this is going to get worse for everywhere, or just here?
I think this is just a flashpoint. I think it's a lot of people showing their frustration, allowing the frustration to boil over. But I don't think it's going to escalate. Except the only way it will escalate, or the only time I'd say it will escalate, will be the inauguration. And so I would say the entire place will be on lockdown during the inauguration.
Holy shit, man.
You will not get near any of the buildings. I mean, it will be secured blocks away.
Look, I'm not, like, when I asked that, it wasn't like, do I need to be worried and hide? It was more of like, I'm more worried about other people in Georgia as well.
20K in the chat, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I have been teetering with the idea of the potential of I mean, not a civil war as such, because it would be very, very different to the way we think of civil war.
The idea of a civil war I find hilarious, because one side's going to have the American military, and one side's not.
Don't
The
underestimate
civil war's
the-
going to be
the fact
over in days.
Dave, don't underestimate pissed off rednecks.
No, not even pissed off rednecks. Don't underestimate the power of ordinary people. I mean, you'd be surprised. I don't think it would be successful, because
They'd get shut down real quick, but that wouldn't mean that they wouldn't try to start it.
But it's an intellectual. It's more of an intellectual divide now. It's not what you would think of a traditional civil war where both sides take up arms. And this is going to be more targeted, more directed. So I think it was 2013, if I'm not mistaken. It could have been later. It could have been 2016. But there was a congresswoman shot at a rally.
Congresswoman Gifford.
Yes.
Gifford.
This is just flat fucking disgusting.
I don't know if it would go as far as being a civil war. It could be a civil uprising, yes, and spread it across the country in different states, but I'm not sure if.
My question though is, do you think that they're gonna have to deploy fucking National Guard at different parts of the country?
Well, I definitely think so. Yeah. So, I think that this is going to feed Trump's narcissism. He's going to see what's happening right here.
Trump's already fucking won what he wanted to do, man. Like,
I think this shows here, like this shows him. I can push people to violence now. I think it's going to be up to him, and he's sitting in the comfort of his space, tweeting about it, and not doing anything about it.
I don't mean to be inappropriate, but right now Trump's got his hand on his cock, just love it.
Oh yeah, he's getting. This is what he wants. But I sorry, I had to run to the store because I've been watching this shit and I ran out of cigarettes. But I was watching Sassy Heathen stream, and they had really remarkable footage on PBS that she was covering. And she actually covered a reporter inside that was evacuated with the Congress people. So they have been evacuated at this point.
How were they evacuating them? Did it say?
A private tunnel underground.
Oh, they have one. Okay.
Yeah. They actually had a fucking railroad down there. I mean, fucking insane. Like, she was streaming the whole time. Like, dude, like, historic shit. Like, you guys got to go check out that footage because it was historic.
If you can put it in the side chat here on
I saw it on Sassy Heath, but it was PBS. It was their coverage,
Yeah.
the PBS coverage. Yeah. It was great. Like, it was like, but I've called for a civil war in this country for a while. Like, but I thought it would be 4 years ago when Hillary won. I thought that they would do this. Now they've had 4 years of superiority and kind of playing on this this persecution complex that they have. Now I think it's going to be worse. I think that we're really close to a civil war. But it'll be up to Trump. It'll be up to Republicans on how they handle this.
Oh, dude, you know they're not going to do anything. If
But,
they can get away
Trump
with it,
won't.
They're not going to do shit. No,
Trump won't, but like the Republicans that were going to go along with this shit today. After this, like, no, don't go along with it anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's like, dude, I'm going to say this, and like anybody that gets pissed off, they get pissed off. But Republicans, you know, the fucking electeds for the Republican side don't have the balls enough to fucking stand and say no. They're going to go right along with it because they know goddamn well that they can't really do anything else.
Well, I mean, Mitch McConnell, to give him some credit, he was like, in his address this morning was pretty much,
Oh, brilliant.
yeah, it was great. And it was like, the one time in my life I was like, go Mitch, you know? Like,
I know, yeah.
Trump tweeted.
Oh,
Fucking course we did.
What's with all the maggots in the live chat?
I haven't looked at the live chat.
what was the tweet?
The live chat for critical.
Tweet says, I am asking for everyone at the US Capitol to remain peaceful. No violence. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect the law and our great men and women in blue. Thank you.
So that's interesting. That is very interesting. And the reason why it's interesting is he's not condemning it.
Yeah, he's not condemning it, and he's not leading any unilateral force, and he's not calling for it to stop. Yeah, he's like placating both sides here.
He's literally playing in the
Did
same
you guys
screen.
see the live stream that he retweeted?
Not yet.
Yeah, he tweeted a live stream.
his tweet on the first sentence literally asks them inside the Capitol, on the Capitol building, to stay there and remain peaceful. Basically, I'm asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful.
Yeah. So like, not leave the Capitol.
Just remain peaceful.
God, it's so crazy.
It's very telling, and I think it's only Trump that has only now has said, "Oh yeah, please stay peaceful." None of the other White House officials have come out. None of the politicians have come out that are not senators. The House delegates haven't come out and said anything. The silence is deafening. The silence is absolutely deafening.
Well, you know that, like, you know, for any of the Democrats, you're just going to sit and kind of watch this and just be like, yeah, I'm getting ready to condemn this, but I don't, you know, who knows how much worse this is going to get. Maybe this is as bad as it's going to get.
I think that, well,
I'm going to be honest with you, this is going to sound fucked, but I hope it is. I really do. I really hope that this is the worst, but there's something telling me that it's not going to be.
The silence is definitely. It depends on. You can see the outline of the police. I'm watching ABC at the moment, and you can see the outline of the police outside. They are walking around. They are walking around like headless chickens. They have no orders. They do not know what they're doing. They know how to disperse a crowd. They do. They've done it. But they're waiting for orders.
That's what I'm saying.
They're waiting for orders.
They knew this was going to happen. We've all known that this was going to happen today for months now. We saw their response at times during the Black Lives Matter upheaval. Like, even half of that right now would be welcome. But yeah, they don't seem to have, at least outside, no cohesion. Now, from what I saw inside, they're putting the hammer down inside. But that was only in like certain corridors. So like what we're seeing right here, it doesn't seem like the police have gotten there yet. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with some of what these people are tweeting. They're like, if this was a Black Lives Matter or an Antifa rally, they would have been mad.
Yeah, we saw it'd have been obliterated by now. At times during the Black Lives Matter upheaval, like
I think somebody
even half of that right now would be welcome. But yeah, they don't seem to have, at least outside.
Pelosi has asked the National Guard
inside. They're putting the hammer down.
Hyde said.
But that was only in like certain corridors. So like what we're seeing right here.
I mean,
so you can see there, and you can see there on that footage, on the stairs. There's only 6, 7 people stopping the crowd from going up the next set of stairs.
Yeah, and from what I heard, there was actually, I'm going to call them rednecks, but there was rednecks in the House room, like at the speaker's podium. Like literally, like they got that far inside.
You can see there, and you can see there on that footage.
I mean, that's what concerns me the most. I think that there's a potential for something like this to break out and get worse. Because right now, everybody that's here, a lot of these people are operating under a lot of fake news.
From what I heard, there was actually, I'm going to call them rednecks,
decide that those votes don't count, or
in the
that
House
plus one,
room,
that
at the
can't
speaker's
happen.
podium. Literally, like they got that far inside.
He doesn't have constitutional power to do anything like that. And so, but that hasn't stopped any of these fantasies. So, and then other people are running with other fantasies that can somehow get turned around by the 20th. And if not, it could become a separate election. And just keep dragging this on and on. But
it depends on how this ends, because what they are doing right now, the Republicans that would have been on their side, the moderate Republicans, the not so rednecks, they're going to be put off by this. They're going to see this and say, I'm not being associated with this. Breaking into our Capitol building, not allowing the vote to go ahead. There's a lot of Republicans that will be very unhappy.
They might be unhappy, but they'll probably just keep that to themselves, because what they're looking at right now is the future of the Republican Party. This is big.
Yeah, and that's the scary part. Yeah.
This is the base. So if they wanted to come out and
so real quick, I don't know if you guys watching that NBC just confirmed that it was a officer that shot somebody in the Capitol building.
Okay.
damn.
Breaking into our Capitol building. Not
Well, did you see? There's a photo on Associated Press, and it looks like one of the protesters trying to square up against one of the Capitol police.
Yes,
You know,
because I can see how that's going to go.
yeah, the barricades. It's like, and he looks like somebody from my hometown. So it's just like, okay.
Yeah, they just said they don't know any of the circumstances. They just know that somebody was shot. So real quick, I don't know if you guys watching, but NBC just confirmed that it was a officer that shot.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, but I don't think law enforcement's gonna just walk into a building full of Trump supporters and start licking shots. They had to be doing something.
I don't know. I think if we had law enforcement that was like wireless or something like that, yeah, he'd probably rock them. Although he'd probably where he's nuts.
You have to imagine that they are like developing some kind of a response, though. Like if this crowd doesn't disperse, they have constitutional duty to get about, right? Like they have something they have to do to them.
Right now.
But I mean, if this was Black Lives Matter, I think we'd already see the rubber bullets, we see the tear gas. Where is all of that?
What's looks like everybody's got their cameras out. Who are they? I mean, they're probably filming each other, but it looks like there's more.
Crafty, what were you saying?
There looks like there's movement outside from.
You have to imagine that they are. Like,
Yeah, they're saying that people are leaving now.
If this crowd doesn't disperse, they have constitutional duty to get about, right? Like they have
There's
something they
a
have.
heavy guard now outside one of the doors. One of the doors is being shut for one side of the building.
But
So
the
they
doors
must
were
clear
shut.
that
The
corridor.
doors were shut previously. They shut everyone out.
No, there's one that's opened and it's now being shut.
I still don't understand them willingly leaving.
If their whole
The
goal
National
is
Guard are on the
to,
way.
yeah, if their whole goal is to stop the counting, then I don't think that they're gonna be trying to leave anytime fucking soon.
I'm just not going to be pushed out.
I've quickly read something about a CNN journalist being shot in the neck, but it's gone. Yeah, I'm trying to look for it again.
Say that again, Ricardo.
I quickly read something saying that a CNN reporter was shot in the neck.
Huh.
Let's just try to pick it up again. Twitter is going on fire. Here we go.
Yeah, there's a hell of an image of Capitol security guards pointing guns out the windows, here and in.
So apparently there's a picture of a woman. It's not a CNN reporter. It's a woman shot in the neck in the Capitol Hill.
The woman is in critical condition after being shot in the chest on the Capitol grounds.
Okay.
Shit.
So I've got a report saying neck. Oh, sorry. Close by.
That's from CNN. So it could be the neck, but they're reporting the chest.
Yeah. Looking at the picture, yeah, it's the chest. But,
Dude, like they don't. I don't think people understand. Like I'm watching fucking CNN right now, not CNN, MSNBC, and they're like that Trump needs to take leadership, but he's not going to do that. He's
No,
not.
because him taking leadership would mean taking responsibility for these people.
He's responsible for this. I don't know what he said during his hour-long speech. I heard he was reiterating the fraud crap.
It was
But
the
I
same
watched
rant
Don
as the
Jr. And Don Jr. was leading a chant with all of these people here saying, "Fight for Trump." I mean, those are specific wording. They're encouraging violence. His son today encouraging violence. I mean, they're responsible for this.
The only responsibility he's going to take is, hey, don't do violent shit, but secretly do violent shit. That's what that tweet was.
Yeah. Hey, his tweet was basically, I've got to say that we're like the Law and Order party, but burn this shit down. That's pretty much what his tweet is.
I mean, they're chanting to the police. Shame on them. That's the thing. They are chanting to the police. They are talking to the police because they expect the police to back them.
That's not going to happen.
They started. That was like some of the first reports that were coming out. They started clashing with Capitol Police at the barricades. They were screaming traitors.
They're used to that, to be honest.
Yeah.
They're actually trained for that.
What I think is weird, probably what's fueling this, or what might make it a little bit worse, is the results of the Georgia elections. Because all the fear mongering and stuff that Trump's been doing about, the one thing they could kind of count on was like, well, I don't, Purdue and Loeffler, they're going to win, so Mitch is going to have control of the Senate. Well, he doesn't have control of the Senate. That doesn't mean Democrats have free run, but for these people, it looks like the end of the world.
And they should be mad. They should be mad at Trump for that. Trump handed us 2 wins on a silver platter because he's an idiot and doesn't understand politics.
Yeah. But he does understand the mob.
Yeah, he does understand the mob. That's for sure. And that's what I'm saying. Like this right here is probably feeding his narcissism like no moment in his life. He has thousands of people willing to storm the Capitol of the United States for him. Like this is a scary moment. What happens next? The soap opera continues.
Well, I think once this dies down and stuff, he's going to end up getting flushed down. He's not going to go into obscurity, but
I think people should be calling for his resignation after this.
Well, the thing is, people kept talking about his prospects in the media, but if this shit goes south, that's over.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just this alone looks bad enough. He just talked to this group of people and talked about them marching up to the Capitol, and he did use the adverb peacefully. But he was talking to them before this. That's where they got riled up, and they marched.
I didn't see that because I was streaming during that, but I saw Don Jr. I was watching Don Jr. as he was speaking to the mob.
Yeah. But yeah, I think a lot of this is not just the pent up rage and aggression from the presidential election, but waiting to see what the results were going to do with Senate leadership, and it looks like Democrats got control of that. So
yeah, well, we pretty much got it in the bag. Like even with the recount, you're not going to make up the lead that Ossoff has. You're just not going to do it.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a little bit more.
Yeah.
I've been in a similar situation to the people in this as a journalist, as someone who studied sociology. I was writing a thesis at the time of great unrest over here in Ireland. So I've seen people take over buildings. I've seen that rush of adrenaline, that first rush of adrenaline, and then you're afraid to go outside because of what might be waiting for you. And let me tell you, from experience, you're better off outside. So you can see that the protesters now leaving because they know if they stay, with the National Guard having been called, which they will have been informed of, they have the option of either staying inside, and those on the upper floors will not get out of that building without handcuffs.
Yeah.
And probably a few beatings. But they have been given the option. Okay, you've done what you've come here to do. You've had your protest. You've obviously gotten the headlines. The people inside the building, the senators, have heard your voice. Either you stay in here and you're going to absolutely regret staying in here, or you leave. And you can see the floods of people that are now leaving because they know if they stay in there, they're not getting out of there without some kind of charge. Whereas, and all they have to do is wait them out. All they again, from experience, watching this, watching unrest unfold, all they have to do, all the police have to do, the National Guard have to do, is wait them out. If they try to get them out without peaceful means, then what's going to happen is it's going to inflame the situation. So all they have to do is wait them out. But by waiting them out, more and more people are going to drift away, particularly outside the building, which you're already seeing a mass flux of people leaving the Capitol building, the surrounding of the Capitol building. And once they don't have those numbers,
thank you for coming, everyone. That was so epic.
The National Guard and the police force can do anything, and you do not want to be in that position. So I think what they're doing now is sensible. They're leaving the building. They've had their protest. They're going to stay there for another hour, maybe 2 hours, outside of the building to show a force.
Do you not think they're going to be arrested?
What?
Ultimately.
I don't think they'll be arrested. And the reason, unless they're in the upper floors, I think they're at more risk of being arrested because they've breached the upper limits. And not because they've breached the upper limits. They're actually banging on doors. They're creating fear for the senators and the office workers that are in there and the aides that are in there. So they are more at risk. Where the people on the ground floor, because of the mass of people, they're not at great risk from experience anyway, looking at such things as occupations of government buildings. You're not really at risk of being arrested or having a charge unless you are forcefully removed. If what they're doing here now is sensible. Leaving the buildings, they're backing away, they're leaving en masse, they're losing that critical support, they're losing the normal people that went there just to show their opposition. They're losing the numbers. And once they lose the numbers, if they're not all out of that building, the ones that are left inside are facing charges or worse. And I'll just leave it at that again.
They're moving Congress right now from what they just reported. They're moving Congress people out right now.
Yeah, because enough people have been moved out of the building. It's now safe to actually do it. And those who you've seen there a while ago, they're in offices, they're in like little boardrooms. They will be confined there until the National Guard arrives.
They're saying that they don't know if the National Guard is going to be sent out now.
If it's not necessary, I don't think they will. But if the National Guard arrives, then it'll get a bit heated with those on the upper floor, because they are on 3 floors now. But I can see, from what I'm seeing, they're losing the numbers outside of the building, and that's why it's easier as well for the police force to push or to guide the protesters out, because there's not this big push from behind to get into the building. So I do think it's going to calm down a little bit now. They've gotten the headlines, they've gotten the attention. I don't think we'll see much more except for expulsion from the building. Is this a coup attempt? It's not really a coup attempt. It's an occupation of a building. It's been done hundreds and thousands of times the world over. It is designed to shock the politicians and to say we are willing to take this one step further. So I do think the politicians will be taking notice of this, but I don't think this is necessary. If it's a coup attempt, it's a piss poor attempt at a coup. They are not armed from what I've seen. They're surprised from the whole follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, follow me on. They are just as surprised as everybody else around them that they've actually managed to pull this off and get into the building. So they had.
You should have added to that. You should have added to that. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Hang on, whoa. There is 431 people watching this stream right now, and only 46 likes. So let's see that get up. And with the fake counts, okay, I'm going to be a little bit controversial. I'm not against occupations of political buildings by either the left or the right. It's been done many times over. It has been, and windows get broken, whatever. I'm not against it. I'm going to be honest. I'm not against it because it's a form of protest. I would rather not see windows being smashed up or buildings being attacked, but for me, it's a form of protest. Having studied sociology for so long, I've seen it the world over. So I'm not against this form of protest. I do think they are smart in what they're doing. They are receding. They're leaving the building. Those on the upper floors are.
Hey, yo, everybody tune into NBC right now. They got a congressman on the phone.
Great.
Inside the building.
Yeah, inside building. It's it's Rep. Brendan Boyle. Brandon, yeah.
They actually did get into the chamber. They
Yes,
did come to
there was
do
a guy sitting
in the chair, yeah.
in the chair. Yeah.
So he's still in there.
No, so 3 minutes ago, Trump authorizes National Guard to Capitol.
3 minutes ago.
Yeah, this was from 3 minutes ago.
Both the east side and the west side, and get into or right around the House chamber as well. As apparently, from texts I'm getting from friends of mine who served in the Senate, they were able to get into the Senate chamber as well. So that is just
Yeah, I think the biggest question for a lot of people is going to be, why was the security so bad?
in my view, is
The fact that they got into the building at all, when they breached the steps, every door to that building should have been locked, and you cannot get into that building. If the doors are closed, you cannot get into that building without a battering ram. So that's going to be the big question. How did they actually get into the building? Why was
what they're saying? It was police. It was a security failure.
Oh, that's an understatement. That is a big understatement.
But if you I don't know if you guys saw the picture of the Capitol Hill steps when BLM was making the protest outside, and the number of National Guard that they've put it there, and now compared to what they did today, lack of security is kind of an understatement.
Yeah.
There was no preparation, either because the president didn't want it or because the mayor wasn't allowed, something like that.
Apparently, according to America, the National Guard declined.
The problem is, what can the National Guard do once they've gone in?
The only thing that they can do is disperse the crowd, in which case they don't need the National Guard.
No.
And again, I think the safest thing to do would be to wait them out. Get them out of the building piece by piece. And as I said, you can already see the flocks of people that have already left in and around the Capitol building. I don't see it escalating unless the police choose to escalate it.
Yeah. It could be dangerous at this point for the forces to try and to corral them inside or to try to force them out. Because
I have a question.
they escalate it.
What is the flag there? The black and white flag.
I think are you talking about the Kekistani flag?
I don't know.
That one, and the guy wearing the Pepe mask?
No, right at the top now.
Debate is one thing. Protest is one thing. That's not what we're watching.
I don't know what you can see of my. Oh, I'm looking at my wrong frame. He's up by the column. It's all black and white.
Is it like a black and white flag?
Yeah.
They're saying 5 people just got transported to the hospital right now.
That's a sovereign citizen.
Sovereign citizen.
The soft citizen.
So it's just a whole barrel of mixed nuts then.
Well, I would say I definitely agree with everything that Crafty's saying. Like this is the response that you should expect to see when people are using their First Amendment rights. Unfortunately, we have seen police numerous times throughout the summer into the fall not do that and not choose to do what they're doing now with this particular crowd. And what's bad about it's not that they're using their First Amendment rights, because I totally agree they have the right to do that. It's why they're using that First Amendment right, and it's essentially to overturn an election in favor of their guy. It's kind of insane.
Kind of?
It's interesting too, because it's being done like ostensibly they believe that they're defending the Constitution by demanding unconstitutional actions.
Yeah,
saying I have a bad echo. I don't know why.
For the loser of an election, it's pretty remarkable.
To try to deal with these protests.
Jesus fucking Christ, man.
And this reach of the U.S.
This is ridiculous.
Where
This
are
really
all,
is.
Dave, are you really popular in Turkey? Why are so many Turkish blokes showing
No
up in the
idea.
live?
Someone
It's
said
probably
that
one, and he just has many sock accounts. So every time he gets hidden or timed out, he's going on to the next one.
Yeah, because we're only hiding and timing out people that are like inciting this bullshit.
Hats off to Chad Hall, by the way, moderator.
Yeah, no.
He's moderating the shit out of this thing.
Thank you, Chad. Appreciate you, man. I'd be moderating too, but A, I'm in it, and B, I'm watching the news, which I never fucking do. I'll be honest.
That's how bad things have
Wow.
gotten. Quentin is watching the news, folks.
Not only am I high
So-
and it's my birthday, but I'm watching the
Oh yeah,
fucking
happy birthday.
news. Appreciate you.
So
Jesus
Mike
Christ,
Pence,
this is the best birthday present ever. Thank you, fucking Trump, you cunt.
we have just heard from Mike Pence.
Go on.
Mike Pence is demanding a stop to all of the violence, and asking the protesters inside the building to leave, which is a lot more than what Trump has done.
Yeah, now he's going
He
to
has
be labeled
actually gone as far as to say everyone inside the building must leave.
Well, Trump's gonna give him a spanking later.
What we're watching is the inevitable irrelevancy of both Pence and Trump. Like, and Trump will maintain some relevancy with.
They've got a reporter on the inside live talking about what's going on in NBC. Just to let you guys know, because that's one of the only channels I get over here. Thank you, Julie.
I've only got the live thing off their website, but it's not. Oh no,
Jake Sherman, reporter.
Jake Sherman. Maybe I got a line.
I'm going to be honest. I still don't understand why the main door of the Capitol is still open.
Yeah, why are they still letting people come in?
All they have to do is close that door, all of the doors, and deal with the people that are inside the building.
Yeah.
Because you can see in this one, the door is closed. You are not getting through that door. Without a battering ram or something serious, you are not getting through that door.
And
That's
yeah, but
what
the point
it's
is,
designed
they managed to get it open at least 3 or 4 times before they managed to storm in.
As soon as possible.
Which makes me wonder.
He's already called Mike Pence a coward.
Right, but he did that before the storming.
Yeah, he did this about an hour ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Now,
fascinating.
They got Senator Tammy Duckworth on right now on NBC.
You know, the only thing that's really keeping this from getting going really bad is the fact there's no counter protest present.
Well, there are people there.
There's
There are streams from BLM and the woke group, but they all seem very distant. They're keeping they're really keeping their distance.
Well, yeah, I mean, wouldn't you if there's a bunch of crazy fucking Trump supporters?
DC mayor has declared curfew at 6 p.m. according to Hannity.
Yeah, that's not good. You know that people are going to break that fucking curfew.
Yeah. And again, you're going to be forced to confront them or not. But the fact is, I think they've proven themselves to not have an aim, which means it's a bit of a wet blanket.
What might happen in terms of the constitutional duty that Congress has today?
I am not. I've not heard anything directly from the Republican leader's office. I am getting information from.
Hey, Rage, you still here?
Yeah, but I'm told I echo a lot.
Cheers. I'm gonna cheers you with the fucking bowl, man. Jesus Christ.
I don't think you should be echoing now.
Yeah, chat. Let me know if I'm still echoing. My StreamYard has had issues lately with echo. So.
Hey, yo, Rage, whenever you get a second after all of this shit's done, me and you should talk, man. I don't want to do it now because I don't want to change subjects, but.
Now's not the time.
I agree.
Apparently from Burke, your stream was shared at the most important website of Turkey named, I'm not even going to pronounce that, to follow what's going on in America. So you have been shared. And I would,
Where'd you see that at?
it's Burke who was deleted for some reason.
Yeah,
He was
but
explaining why there's so many Turkish followers in the stream. So I would encourage people to like the stream, subscribe to Critical Cripple if you'd like to.
Hashtag save Dave.
yeah, Dave, I was just going to suggest if you had any plans of visiting Istanbul, I'd reconsider them.
Yeah, a lot of Trumpers in Turkey, man. A lot of Trumpers in Turkey. So,
Dave, how does it feel to be on a fucking nation's hit list?
I think as a bisexual polyamorous guy, I think pretty much most of the Islamic world is.
Wait, you're poly too?
Yes.
Mark
Bro, I
Caesar,
didn't know that. Hell yeah, poly buddies.
Mark Caesar is asking those who are wearing masks, are they wearing them because of COVID or to hide their faces? Most
To hide their faces.
It's to hide their faces. They don't want to face.
Do they really need to ask a bunch of fucking Trump supporters that question? It's like asking a fat guy, "Hey, do you want more cake?"
I mean, it is a fair question. There might be some that would, and then they tell the crowd, it's because I
don't want COVID, bro.
Yeah.
I wonder
can't say that.
who's this tub thumper trying to get worked up? The guy that's on screen right now.
It looks like he had dubbed his toe and now he's in pain. Jesus Christ, man, this is fucked.
I mean, you got the guy in the black jacket who's like hollering. Looks like he probably goes by the name Big Hungry Joe.
Yeah, Big Hungry.
yeah. Somebody was saying, no, we don't like Trump. F.A. Temez says, no, we don't like Trump. So, and the people getting timed out in the chat can't be from Turkey. At least most of them, I don't think.
And we have a Microraptor. Hi, Microraptor.
Hello. Yeah, there's about over 100 people now that have been timed out, Dave. Have fun with that one.
Apparently, Dave licks everyone.
Well, I'm sure that Turkish website has now realized that Critical Cripple is not, it just as a channel it discriminates against anyone using the Turkish language, regardless of their political ideology. It's just like, yeah, you go in there and type something out in Turkish, they'll ban you. Don't do it.
Yeah, don't fuck with Critical Cripple, man. He's a serious motherfucker.
Oh.
He will pop his ball on your face and not give a fuck.
Oh shit.
Love you, Dave.
Oh, I was having a nice relaxing night. Thinking I'll go have a nap before your stream.
I was enjoying my birthday, smoking a fucking bowl, and then all of a sudden, hey, dude, there's shots in fucking Washington. What?
Well, at least you and Keela have the pond between you and this insanity.
This is true.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, you ready for it to spread to fucking where you're at?
Yeah, I'm just getting my my full MAGA suit ready. Just got it ironed, yeah, so I'll be out on the streets.
Make sure you got that extendo clip, bro. You're gonna need it.
I saw him saying that he was Trump was saying that he had people or someone who it's all got in my head. It's all mixed up. That he had people ready in Michigan.
Oh no, we don't need any more of this. The last time we had one we had protests on our Capitol that looked like this, and they did show up with guns.
Yeah, they tried to kidnap our governor, and they were going to execute her in the state capitol.
Motherfuckers are already making memes of this. What the fuck? It don't take no time, bro. Seriously, there's already been. I've been scrolling through Twitter to see what's going on, and there have been over 100 fucking memes already shared.
Well, and see, the scary thing about this is, and I agree with everything, and it seems like it's calming down. I think the police are actually doing the right thing by standing down and not like, agging it on further. But you have to remember, like, this is before they've actually certified the vote. Like, Joe Biden technically still is, like, that moment that vote gets certified, like, you could see this, I mean, everywhere. These people believe the president and the lies that this president has perpetuated. Giuliani once again out there today perpetuating these lies. Trump out there perpetuating these lies. These people believe that this isn't going to go away.
Paula White said the prayer before they spoke.
Yo,
So
I'm
she's
gonna,
out there
from
participating.
what I'm hearing them saying, they're saying that National Guard's probably not going to be needed, so they said fuck it.
That's not what I'm hearing. See, every news station is going to be different because ABC are indicating that the National Guard has been deployed, and they are on their way. And there are areas of the Capitol, of the buildings that, not just the Capitol building itself, but the surrounding buildings, there is no police presence.
Well, I'm a stupid fucking person. I don't really understand news, so I'm gonna let y'all report it then.
But do they not intentionally often in these situations leave an area without police presence to let them disperse?
Usually routes, yeah.
They should. I mean, but
usually routes, yeah.
It depends on the protest, because like I said, like a lot of times they don't. It seems like these protests have gotten a lot of leeway since they've started popping up the last 6 months. Other protests haven't.
Hey guys, don't you just see the miraculous change of 2021?
Yeah, it's so different. I barely even recognize the world.
I think the rough patch is over, guys.
I mean, the big problem with when flashpoints like this happen, the big problem for a lot of commentators, regardless of where you stand, is to try to see things objectively and not overreact. I have seen this many times in many different countries where they have stormed a building, whether it's a city hall or a parliament building, and they'll wait it out. So the issue here is for law enforcement is how to disperse the crowd. There is tear gas going off in certain parts of the building, but there are, again, according to other news sources, there are parts of the building that are just not being monitored at all, and they're screaming to be let in again. So I do believe the National Guard will be needed. And I believe they're on the way because there's ABC and CNN are both saying that the National Guard has been activated, and they're on their way. So,
did you guys see the recent tweet from Pence?
Calling for
he says peaceful protest is the right of every American, but this attack on our Capitol building will not be tolerated, and those involved will be persecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
That is what Trump should be saying.
That's what Trump should.
25 minutes ago was when Pence.
I want to say, I appreciate your perspective, Crafty, because like we don't see this very often in America. We've seen it a lot lately, and unfortunately, we see like the police overreact a lot of times. But like we've seen like acts like this with like what was it, the Bundy brothers? I think they took over that building in Washington, and the reaction was somewhat similar to what we're seeing so far here. But having your perspective, like this is something that normally happens all across the world, is kind of soothing for me, because I ain't gonna lie, when this first started popping off, I was freaking. I was freaking out.
You heard me when I joined this stream, dude. I was freaked the fuck out.
It's very easy to freak out when you're not used to scenes like this. And unfortunately, even in the States, this isn't as unheard of as you might think. It's just localized. We haven't seen something like this in the Capitol since Vietnam, but the tension has been steadily rising. And if you look at city halls across the, even before the recent election, the 2020 election, in 2016, in the run up to that election, there were when officials were meeting. Even to prep for the 2016 election, there were small flashpoints in various cities around the US. So this it's not even unique to America. And regardless of which side actually did the occupying or surrounded a building, or yes, it's unique to the Capitol.
Dave,
and I think it's
did you mean to turn off slow mode?
Yes.
Okay, I'll watch chat while it's off.
Yeah, so TP Seeker says they took over the Michigan Capitol and tried to run one of the Biden tour buses off the road. And that's only 2 incidences of this year. So it's not actually, there have been flashpoints, and every 20 to 30 years, regardless of what country it is, every few decades there are these flashpoint moments where you have to ask, is there going to be a revolution, or is there going to be escalation? So that's not new. It is breaking point now. So either the system that the US has corrects itself to the extent where they find a happy medium, or things explode. And I don't see things exploding. As bad as it might be, 2008 was actually worse.
Well, it's
than
actually
what we
interesting
see
that you
now.
bring up you use the word explode, because they did confirm there was an explosive device found at
Yep,
the
pipe bomb.
at the RNC. The
Yeah.
DNC has been evacuated because there was threats of those too. So, but whatever was at the RNC, actually was an explosive device.
Well, yeah, and like here in Michigan, we're very used to this. Like I've actually been calling for this for a long time. Jefferson, I'm not sure if you still live here, but I know you did, so you understand what I'm talking about. Because we have militias here, we have crazies. When Critical Cripple asked about the white and black flag, I'm assuming it was a white and black American flag that you was seeing. CC, that is the sovereign citizen flag. They are everywhere here.
Yeah.
I have seen. I mean, like, I have heard the disdain about the snowflake liberal for 20 years, and it has been growing and growing and growing, this sentiment, and it's just boiled to the surface now because Trump is egging it on.
I gotta agree with Red Bear, man. Like, if you want to talk about a revolution, this is it. And from all the reports about the bombs and shit, I'm telling you now, like, even if they manage to get them out for like a few hours at 6 o'clock, this shit's gonna happen again when they start that recount.
Can I just say, it's not just that Trump is egging it on. And this is important to know. It's not just that he's egging it on or that he's staying silent, refusing to condemn it. He is creating the situation, and more than that, he's legitimizing it from the highest office, not just in the country, but probably in the world. So he's legitimizing violence against the institution.
Any of the Republican representatives that have spoke out against this, I guarantee you right now, they just bit themselves in the ass. And I don't mean that as in I'm not commending them for standing up for what the fuck's going on, but yeah, they're going to be labeled traitors.
Okay, Biden is on. He's on ABC.
Fuck, I don't have ABC. God damn it. Like, is he live and in person or over the phone, Crafty?
No, he's in person. He's saying that democracy is under an unprecedented attack and assault.
President-elect Biden now
addressing they're strong words.
Thank you, John.
I'm sorry, not just an inconvenience, but I'm sorry for the reason I've delayed coming out.
Yeah, I don't even think the New York Times
to you.
is keeping up with this, because they
I
have
initially
one
was going to
saying
talk
that
about the economy.
the Guard was activated, National Guard
But
was
all of
activated
you-
18 minutes ago,
all
but
of
then
you
it
have
looked
been
like
watching
CNN was showing something about
what
a
I've been
change of
watching.
mission. So,
At this hour, our democracy is under unprecedented assault, unlike anything we've seen in modern times. An assault on the citadel of liberty. The scenes of chaos at the Capitol do not reflect a true America. Representatives do not represent who we are. What we're seeing are a small number of extremists dedicated to lawlessness. This is not dissent. It's disorder. It's chaos. It borders on sedition. And it must end now. I call on this mob to pull back and allow the work of democracy to go forward. You've heard me say before in different contexts, the words of a president matter, no matter how good or bad that president is. At their best, The words of a president can inspire.
That's
At their
disgusting.
worst,
Yeah,
they can incite.
Hang on. You would never hear me ever say this about Mike Pence because I lived in
I call
Indiana
on
when
President
he was
Trump
governor. But I'm actually
to go
fucking
on
proud of this
national
man right now.
television now to fulfill his oath and defend the Constitution and demand an end to this siege, to storm the Capitol, to smash windows, to occupy offices, the floor of the United States Senate, rummaging through desks, on the Capitol, on the House of Representatives, threatening the safety of duly elected officials. It's not protest, it's insurrection. The world's watching. Like
Strong words right there.
Yep.
I am genuinely shocked and saddened that our nation, so long the beacon of light and hope for democracy, has come to such a dark moment. Through war and strife, America's endured much. And we will endure here, and we will prevail again, and will prevail now. The work of the moment and the work of the next 4 years must be the restoration of democracy, of decency, honor, respect, the rule of law, just plain, simple decency. The renewal of a politics that's about solving problems, looking out for one another, not stoking the flames of hate and chaos. As I said, America is about honor, decency, respect, tolerance. That's who we are. That's who we've always been. The certification of the Electoral College vote is supposed to be a sacred ritual, which we affirm. Purpose is to affirm the majesty of American democracy. But today's reminder, a painful one, that democracy is fragile, and to preserve it requires people of goodwill, leaders with the courage to stand up, who are devoted not to the pursuit of power, or the personal interest pursuits of their own selfish interest at any cost, but of the common good. Think what our children watching television is thinking. Think what the rest of the world is looking at. For nearly 2.5 centuries, we, the people, in search of a more perfect union, have kept our eyes on that common good. America is so much better than what we've seen today. Watching the scenes from the Capitol, I was reminded, as I prepared other speeches in the past, I was reminded of the words of Abraham Lincoln in his annual message to Congress, whose work has today been interrupted by chaos. Here's what Lincoln said. He said, "We shall nobly save or merely lose the last best hope on earth." Went on to say, "The way is plain, peaceful, generous, just. A way which, if followed, the world will forever applaud and God must forever bless. The way is plain here too. That's who we are. It's the way of democracy, of respect, of decency, of honor, and commitment as patriots to this nation. Notwithstanding what I saw today and we're seeing today, I remain optimistic about the incredible opportunities. There has never been anything we can't do when we do it together. And this god-awful display today is bringing home to every Republican and Democrat and Independent in the nation that we must step up. This is the United States of America. There's never, ever, 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 ever been a thing we've tried to do that we've done it together. We've not been able to do it. So, President Trump, step up.
Oh.
May God bless America. May God protect our troops and all those folks at the Capitol who are trying to preserve order. Thank you, and I'm sorry to have kept you waiting.
Strong words. Words that the current president of the United States should be saying. Somebody said earlier in one of the streams or in something that I was watching that there's one person that could calm this crowd right now, and that is Donald Trump. Donald Trump could get this crowd to disperse right now if he wanted to.
Yo, I know I said this before, but I'm gonna say it again. I've never been proud of a fucking Republican person before, but goddamn, I'm proud of fucking Pence right now.
So am I. He's surprised. Well, he hasn't really surprised a lot of people because he did go in with the intention of carrying through his duty, going against Trump and carrying through his duty because he recognizes that
that's what needs to happen.
Democracy matters more right now.
Yeah.
And you're right. Trump could, and Biden is right. Trump could stop this. Trump has to step up. The problem with Biden's speech there, I think, is he is appealing to rationality to a crowd that is not rational right now. Yeah. Now, whatever in their individual lives, they might be very intelligent and very rational people, but right now, when they're in this state, there is no rationality. It is all based on emotion. It is all based on adrenaline, and that is part of the problem. If you're trying to reach people's rationality when they're in an emotional state, it's very, very hard to do. What he did do very well there is he kept calm. He was very articulate, and he didn't get carried away. He didn't, although he used strong words, he didn't get over emotional or overestimate what they're doing. He used very strong words and very specific words. He's always been very specific with his words, but he didn't overplay it, which is, if you watch ABC, if you're watching CNN, you will see them absolutely lose their minds. No offense, but some of the people that came on here kind of lost their minds a little bit at the start, which is perfectly understandable because you're not used to seeing scenes like this. When you have studied sociology, when you've studied the evolution of society, especially in the last 50 years, you will see instances of this all over the world. Every couple of years, there's an instance such as this.
I think it's weird. I don't know why they do this. I mean, it's kind of refreshing to hear it, but that's only because we've had 4 years of Trump. But if Biden gives a speech and he's sort of trying to appeal to, especially if he's trying to address the protesters, and he's trying to appeal to a sense of decency, most of the people in that crowd believe that they're protesting a fundamentally indecent structure and culture. So appealing to their sense of decency, that's going to go off like a bad joke. They're just going to laugh that off. In fact, most of that stuff you'll hear over the course of the next couple of days on any of these right-wing sites, and I occasionally troll them to see kind of what's going on. They'll all be laughing at what the media did, at the reactions. They'll be patting themselves on the back for any comments that come from people that sound like they're freaking out. That's going to be candy for them.
We were doing it as a joke. This is hilarious.
For some of them it is. For some of them it is just kids.
Keisha says, NBC says Trump will be releasing a taped message shortly. And why is it taped? The reason why it's taped, one, I think if he is in the White House, I believe he's in the White House, the White House will want to be able to edit that footage before it's sent.
Yeah.
And the other reason is because they can't have him going off script. They will have written a script for him. They cannot risk him going off script because of the Republican senators that are in that building. Now, best name ever asked if we seen Biden's speech. That was Biden's speech that I just played there as he was delivering it. So
and that is a president's speech.
Yo,
I will put money that Trump cannot come across a tenth as presidential as that.
He's gonna sound sullen, like a kid that's being forced to eat his vegetables.
Yeah, the eloquence of that speech, it actually throws me back in a sense to when Obama was giving a speech. Now, I'm not a big fan of Obama, I'm going to be honest. I'm kind of center, I'd be in the center of politics. I wasn't the biggest fan of Obama for other reasons. But one of the things that he did do well, one of the things after the Sandy Hook, not Sandy, was it? No, it was after the
No, he just tweeted his
Parkland.
response. He just retweeted his response.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to fucking screen share it. But yeah, he just tweeted his fucking shit.
Who, Trump did?
Yeah, he just now did.
I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide
All right,
election.
let me see if you can hear this, Dave.
Everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home
They're
now.
saying in the chat that Trump's
we
on
have to have
Fox.
Peace. We have to have law and order. We have to
I've got it
respect
playing
our
now,
great
but you can't hear it.
people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened, where they could take it away from all of us, from me, from you, from our country. This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people.
What the fuck?
We have to have peace.
He's just inflaming it.
So go home.
What did he just say?
Love you.
Go back 20
Very
seconds. What he
special.
said.
You've seen what happens. A fraudulent election.
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
Take it away from all of us, from me, from you, from our country. This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. You've seen what happens. You see the way others are treated that are so bad and so evil. I know how you feel. But go home and go home in peace.
Well, that was interesting.
That was a weird way to
Go home and go in peace. That was interesting. So you're right to be frustrated. You're right to be angry. You're right to do what you're doing. They're stealing our election. They're doing all these things, but go home and go home in peace. That was an interesting one. Proper doublespeak. You know he put that in there because he was forced to do it.
But he's still saying it's fraudulent.
Yeah, but it's interesting.
Dude, he just made it from where they were going to leave. Any chances of them fucking leaving is gone. This motherfucker, dude, oh my god.
It would have been better if he hadn't said anything.
If he would have just shut the fuck up, yes.
Yeah.
This is, oh my god, dude.
You can't say, I agree with Keel on this. You can't say the first half of your statement, these are the stakes, they've never been worse, it's never been more corrupt, everything that you're fighting against, you're absolutely right. Now please go home peacefully and let it go. No, you can't do that.
Hey guys, I know that we just lost something really important, and it wasn't our fault. And you guys are already protesting. Yeah, they stole our victory, guys. So, I'm going to tell you to go home. Wink, wink. Don't do anything violent. Wink, wink. You fucking... Oh, I really don't want to say the R word, and I'm trying not to. It's the autism in me right now, and I'm fucking furious.
You mean Republican? That was the R word you were saying.
No. Oh my fucking god, dude! They need to treat Trump. They need to fucking slap Trump with treason. If they don't, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind because he pretty much just did that.
I think it's time for the Republican Party to ask for his resignation without a doubt. But he knows his base, so this is why I have been freaked out for quite a while about this, and to see them actually start doing the things they've been talking about for quite a while, that it really scares me. But he understands his base, and I understand his base because I live here in Michigan. I deal with these people. These people are extremists. They believe in violence. They're literally waiting for Trump to tell them to start doing violence. I have seen their post about it. They're just waiting, and they're waiting, and Trump, he hasn't quite went there yet, and if he decides to, and I'm afraid that this will feed his narcissism, and he might decide to, we're in for some bad times ahead. Bad times ahead.
Yeah, this this is just bananas. Oh well.
This is like Jefferson. This is the extremist in Michigan taking over the country. This,
Well,
I mean,
yeah, you're right, man. Because I mean, and I do still live here in the state, like in Michigan. And when I saw the photos of the protesters before they actually made it to the Capitol, I'm like looking at them. They were at the rally because they started to watch Trump's speech. And I'm looking at it and I was like, it's like somebody poured my entire small town into this area.
yes, yeah, no, I'm like, I think I see some family members.
Yeah, I had a barbecue with that guy last Sunday. I didn't know he was in the KKK or MAGA rally. Or whatever.
Yeah, Brainbug is right. It's very similar to the stand down and stand by message that he gave to the Proud Boys. It was I agree wholeheartedly. This is absolutely abominable what they're doing, and they're going to use you as violent thugs to try and say that the election wasn't rigged when we all know that it was, and they're trying to steal this election and they're trying to do all this. But go home.
Yeah.
A lot of people will see that and say, he was forced to say that. It was under duress. He didn't actually mean it. He wants us to fight for him. And again, that's what they're fighting for. They're fighting for him, not for democracy, not for the country, for the man, for the individual.
Yeah, which is kind of screwed up because they just want to hear stuff like that cynical from the guy. Literally, what he told them was, "Look, I know what you're fighting for, but if you really fight too hard for it, they're just the cameras are going to turn on you and they're going to make you look like the bad guy. So really, there's no hope here." So it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, that's the best you can offer these people to calm them down. He's just more and more emphasizing that the narrative that all of this stuff, even though he's been in charge for 4 years, everything is so hopelessly corrupt that there's nothing they can do. The reason these people are behaving like this now is because they already feel hopeless and marginalized.
Yeah.
To what extent is that's actually true? Who knows? But that's what they're channeling, and he's like trying to like touch that. It's like, no, don't. That's a third rail. Don't go near that.
He just caused a shitstorm from mild discomfort to fucking Hurricane Katrina.
It's more like indigestion. It's like national indigestion. I think we'll get through it, but in the meantime, it's just it's a lot of discomfort.
Yeah, I mean, again, looking at that footage, and looking at the footage that seems to be coming out from other news outlets, from real news outlets, it looks as though the majority of the doors are closed. The National Guard is on its way in, and it's because Trump had to give permission. He gave permission, so the National Guard is on its way in. But what he's going to do, because he likes to speak out of both sides of his mouth, like with that speech, what you'll hear from Trump over the next week is, they're trying to demonize us for protest. And if it was, and you'll hear this from Trump, if it was BLM or if it was Antifa, the right-wing media would be saying that it was legitimate, and they'd be outraged that the National Guard was brought in, and they would say that the protesters were in the right and the guards were in the wrong. And that's what you will hear from Trump. He will try to turn it to say, well, it's only because it was my supporters that they're being demonized and they're being awful, and it's the right-wing media. You can't trust the media. And it's the do-nothing Democrats, like he always likes to say, that are stoking this fire. It's not us that's stoking this fire. You guys just went to protest and be peaceful protesters. But it's the Democrats that are promoting the division because they're not allowing you in the same way that they would allow Antifa. That's what's going to be said over the next couple of days.
Have you
the interesting thing?
Well, 2 secs. Trump's speech just then has already got a fact check thing on Twitter saying that the election fraud is disputed.
Well, and I want to make the point, because when they were protesting Big Oil and Standing Rock, they brought in military. They had military missiles pointed at protesters. They were using rubber bullets. They were using real bullets in some instances, tear gas, flashbang explosions. They were using attack dogs. They were using every method they could use to disperse those people who were in the right. And here we have people basically committing sedition. And 2 hours after it starts, still none of that mistreatment that we've seen of Black Lives Matter for months, that we've seen of Antifa for months. And I have to say, that disturbs me. And we've seen it throughout the course of this, that right-wing extremists, they get a pass when we don't seem to. And as an activist that have been in the streets, I find it disgusting. It's not right. It's not right.
Really quickly, Keita in the chat says NBC cut the video down to just the call to go home. I think that's dangerous. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that's dangerous. I don't think that's right.
Twitter have also added this cannot be retweeted, liked, or commented on due to risk
of violence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like seriously, how they should have been like, as soon as he added that last little bit, yo, you need to take this dude down. Like he needs to be taken down. Like the fuck now.
This again plays into the idea that the media are biased and they won't allow Trump to speak. They did the same thing on election night when he delivered that awful, god-awful speech that actually scared half the world. A lot of the news carriers refused to carry it. I think CNN were the only ones. And what they would do was they had the graphics guy come up with the most brilliant slogans while he was saying this this verbiage of garbage. They had like banners under it saying unsubstantiated claims. Trump claims that the election was fraudulent. Even though everyone else in the whole country disagrees with him, Trump still says, the election has been stolen. And it was just the most brilliant banners. That's what it reminds me of. ABC and the others refusing to allow people to see how dangerous he is. I don't think that's necessarily going to help things. It's actually just going to reinforce the idea that everyone is against Trump supporters.
It feeds their narrative. I agree wholeheartedly.
I hope this doesn't make things worse, but I guess it is official. John Ossoff did win. That other seat in Georgia,
Jake Gibson from Fox News reported that they found 3 explosive devices. Actually, no, 3 devices. They are not sure if they are explosive or not. So they have pipes and wire components on them.
Just earlier on, it was reported, but I never found anything more of it, that there was an explosion.
No, not an explosion, but they confirmed that there was an explosive device, but it was the one at the RNC.
Yeah, but they've found 3 of them now in Capitol.
Yeah.
3 devices. They say that they had a pipe component.
So is this more misunderstood white guys, not domestic terrorism?
Well, I was just going to make a crass joke that with only 3 explosive devices being found, I'm starting to question these guys' commitment to the Second Amendment.
Yeah. Didn't the DC mayor ban the weapons in Washington?
DC has pretty strict. Yeah, DC as a city has pretty strict gun laws. Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ! People are just hanging on to every fucking thing that they're saying.
Proud Boys parlor.
This makes me fucking sick, dude. Like, this physically makes me sick.
The Proud Boys parlor account has a video of them breaching the door. They have something that they're using as a battery ram.
Yes.
It's the link on that I've put on the side chat.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can.
I was going to show
somebody with a Twitter account called Pittsburgh DSA, Democratic Socialists of America. He had a video of some of the cops, the Capitol cops. They're masked up and everything. They're taking selfies with the protesters.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
That's so normal that I've decided not to put that one on the side chat.
I would hope that's because they don't see imminent danger. I would hope
so too. I'm hoping it's not like.
So they're trying to keep people calm, and they're trying to keep an air of festival. I don't know how else to say it. You've achieved something here today. Well done. Here, and let's get a selfie so you don't actually destroy another window, kind of thing. I would assume that's the reason.
I'm getting tired of applying pressure to that, the woman that we already shot upstairs. Getting old. It's just supposed to be a formality. it's interesting too because the vote count, once it gets to the stage, has taken as little as a half an hour or less. When they occasionally they'll pass a motion to expedite, and there's it's the other person is there's no controversy or anything, and they just get right through they read out the votes, and that's it. It's done. And this one's probably going to go on until the 19th. So.
Tell you, this makes me appreciate Al Gore's moment when he was, reading the certification for the election he won, but giving it to George Bush, and the gumption and the fortitude it took to strike down all of those objections from all of those Congress people. That's what you're supposed to see today, and instead we're seeing this.
Yeah, you're supposed to be seeing people actually operating according to the Constitution, and these supposed Constitution fetishists out here think that it's weird because a lot of these people would probably say that they agree with guys like Scalia and stuff like that. They're originalists. They believe in the Constitution. Half of them probably they don't understand that most of this procedural stuff that's put in place comes from the Constitution. Like Pence can't do what they want because of the Constitution, not because of Pence. And Trump makes it worse because for Trump, it's all about individuals and personalities and stuff. So when he's out on a rally just before this kicks off, essentially blaming Pence for their inevitable disappointment, like, dude, way to throw him under the bus. But he's kind of been doing that on and off since they've been in. So.
Well, yeah. What's the joke? He makes jokes about how religious Mike Pence is all the time. It's leaked so many times I can't remember the joke, but he has disdain for how religious Mike Pence is. Somebody was talking earlier about being surprised about Mike Pence, and I agree that honestly, I'm not surprised about Mike Pence because he's always maintained he's a staunch constitutionalist. So his stance here is actually in tradition with what he's always been his entire career. I'm surprised about Ted Cruz because as much as I dislike Ted Cruz, he's a constitutional lawyer and a supposed constitutionalist. So for him to take the stance he's taken completely shocks me. As somebody that has followed politics for quite a while and I don't like the guy, but he is supposed to know the Constitution, and for him to take this stance, that's shocking.
Well, his statements have been weird because a lot of them are self-serving. He can basically back it up and say, look, it's part of the Constitution that, the VP can't do any of this kind of stuff, but it's also part of the Constitution that we can raise objections as long as we follow this form. So it's so in that case, fine. But when he's also trafficking in the same fraud myths that the president is, and these other and kind of playing up to these fantasies from the base, the right-wing base that thinks that they can magically turn it around when there isn't a constitutional mechanism for them to really do that. It's just not there, not in these circumstances. Now, this would be really weird if the House and the Senate were both controlled by the Republicans.
So
this would be different. We could actually face a true constitutional crisis in the fact that it could. I don't know. They might get away with it.
I mean, he should have conceded at that point. Now is the time to concede.
There's movement again. There is riot police there on the scene. They are pushing people off the balcony, down the steps. So, I think the National Guard are there at the building, and that is why the normal police, the Capitol Police, and the riot police are actually, or the public order units, are starting to move people off the balconies and off the steps.
All right, because Sassy makes a good point, and I thought about this too when it appeared like they were all leaving, and now we do see that they're still there. But was did Trump give the order? Was his tape message what they were waiting for to leave? Because now it's Trump puts out his message, it was totally messed up, but now they're all dispersing.
There's 200.
This is weird.
There's 200 police on that balcony pushing the protesters off the balcony down towards the steps. So
that's good.
So it must mean that from my experience looking at these kinds of instances, they would only do that if they had the backup there.
Yeah.
So,
and that's been my thing because, as far as I know, and I could be wrong, I'm not a constitutional scholar, but they have to get this done today by the Constitution.
Yeah.
No.
So they have to get on to the business of it, I believe.
What's remarkable?
They don't, Jefferson? All right, go ahead.
No.
It just has to start today. It doesn't have to finish today.
Yeah. I mean,
All right.
normally it gets wrapped up in one day, and if they were objecting to 1 or 2 states or something like that, it might go into the late evening. But with this one, if the Republicans are planning on putting forward actual objections, they're in writing, signed by at least one rep and one senator, then that triggers 2 hours of debate, 30 minutes of vote in separate sessions for both the Senate and the House, and then as long as it takes to get through all those objections is how long they go.
And they were expecting before all of this happened, as it was normally, based on what they knew, that this was going to be 12 hours today.
Yeah. They knew they were going to be late, and they knew it was probably going to take more than. I thought the same thing that you did. I thought that they were required because what it says is they sit in the joint session, they count the votes, they declare the winner. That's what they're constitutionally obligated to do. But it doesn't have a strict timeline. And since the requirements are, if you raise an objection and it stands and it forces the 2 hours of debate and the 30 minutes of vote per state objection, you go as long as you have to.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe this speeds up the process. Maybe a lot of these Republicans that were going to be cool are now changing their mind. Like, holy crap, we went way too far now.
There's two directions. There's two directions that this could go in, and I'm looking at it, and it does look like the police are getting people away from the building a lot better than they had been. They hadn't even tried pushing, but they're actually pushing back the crowds. They have the riot shields just in case, and there's about 50 to 60 in a very close corridor pushing people through barriers. So that's something. But there's two avenues that this could go. Either the Republicans that were going to vote for the objections are going to see this and either say, we need to stand with the people who are supporting us or we're screwed. Or they're going to say, this has been taken too far, we need to stop it now. So only, and what's remarkable is the level of commitment that every single person who has come out and made a statement, both Democrat and Republican, they are refusing to leave that building until the business is done. They're saying we're going to be here all night if we have to. We're going to get this done. So hopefully, as soon as this little mishap is taken, is under control, they'll be able to go back into onto the floor, debate it, get it done by tonight or tomorrow at the most.
Did you see Best Names question? So, is anyone here familiar with the 18 US Code 2384 seditious conspiracy?
I'm not.
I am a little bit.
Which one is that?
I believe that's for sedition.
I'm not familiar. I'm not read up on all the codes, to be honest with you.
I'm definitely not, but I saw that one come up actually on a right wing post.
How much of this have you seen, Jeff?
How much have I what?
I've
Jeff. Watched quite a bit of it. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry, I've just joined. I've watched quite a bit. I'm assuming because I just caught this.
You're breaking up there a bit, Jeff.
Trump put out about minutes ago. Oh, hold on. Let me try. Is that better?
Hello.
I would hope it is. Say something again.
Okay. Did you guys see that shit Trump put out on Twitter about 20 minutes ago?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When it podcast on the news.
How goddamn inflammatory was that?
That is just dumping fuel on the fucking fire.
Yep. I mean, did you hear that? It was NBC that said that cut it to just the last 30 seconds, as opposed to they're stealing this from us again.
No, yeah, ABC played the whole thing.
Linwood put out a tweet about 20 minutes ago saying, "Truth, you know better, Mr. Andy Nego. The violence is at the hands of Antifa, not Trump supporters. You know, I support your reporting. I admire your courage. You need to get this one right. Do not blame Trump supporters. They are blaming Antifa. They're saying that guy that stole Pelosi's pulpit, that has the horns and the fur thing in the head, it's Antifa.
If there were
Yeah,
Antifa,
It's Antifa.
This is not Antifa.
They would be getting torn apart.
Yeah,
that's what I try to blame.
That's insane. I mean, you can, if anybody, you don't even have to ever have been at an Antifa event to know what Antifa looks like. That these are a bunch of rednecks and red hats. You know, I mean,
Again, I do want to echo never again sentiments there. Not to fall into panic mode. It's very easy, as I said before, it's very easy to panic and say this is extreme, this is going beyond, but this is not new. It might be new for the capital, and that's probably why they were so underprepared. They didn't actually expect them to go into the building, because any other situation there would have been great lengths. And again, you can see with some of
but
them
I think they should have been though, like because we've all mentioned what happened here in Michigan. They've seen the lengths that these people are willing to go. They like Trump has been antagonizing this event for weeks on Twitter. Like we had somebody in my side chat last night or the other day was like, it's not going to be the 6th. Wait until the 7th. Like literally saying that in my side chat. Like you know, these people are pumped. Like this is crazy time right here. Like these are all like these are right wing extremists. I call them Confederates.
The other thing, sorry to cut you off, but real quick. The one thing that makes this unprecedented, though, is that when the local flashpoint things popped up, like Keela had mentioned, like the buses in Texas, and then like even the state level protests, like the ones in Michigan, where people showed up armed and were screaming in the faces of cops. Trump supported this stuff, which adds to this. So when you've got a styrofoam dictator who has the highest office in the country essentially signing off on this kind of behavior, that does make it unprecedented. I think that's probably what, if people are feeling panicky about it, it's because these people feel like the president's got their back and vice versa. That's why they would be worried about it. If this was just a group of other, like if this was like a Tea Party kind of stuff, just like flipping out because, you know, the first black president got elected, you know, back in 2008, people would just watch them and be like, okay, some of these people have some crackpot views, whatever. Let them scream into bullhorns or whatever. They'll tire themselves out. But in this case, this shit's a little bit different though, because they think that they have the go ahead from the president.
It's scary, man. It's like I deal with these people every single day. They come into my place of business, and I have to like sit there and be quiet and not say anything to them. And I go to my boss. I'm like, dude, I can't do this, man. I know what they are. I see their little black and white flags. I see their Punisher symbols. I know their language. I know what they stand for. And it all comes down to like they literally think that it's time for another revolution. You see talks of secession. You see talks of literal like we're waiting for Trump to give us the word. So it's really scary.
The mayor of DC.
We are operating our emergency command center. I'm joined by the district's chief of police, Robert Conti. I'm joined by members of my public safety team. I'm also joined by the Secretary of the Army, Mr. McCartney. This afternoon, I announced a citywide curfew for the District of Columbia beginning at 6 p.m. this evening, going until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. During the curfew, no one is allowed to be outside in public places other than essential workers, which includes credentialed media engaging in essential functions. As you can see from video images, the unlawful behavior inside the United States Capitol building. I continue to urge all Washingtonians to stay home and stay calm.
It's about to get crazy.
See something, say something.
Yep.
But above all, stay home. The behavior that we are witnessing is shameful, unpatriotic, and above all, it is unlawful. Anyone who has engaged in these activities, continues to engage in these activities, will be held accountable. There will be law and order, and this behavior will not be tolerated. The Metropolitan Police Department has been deployed to assist the United States Capitol Police in restoring order to the Capitol, and our Chief of Police will lead the command to clear the Capitol building and establish a perimeter around the Capitol. I have requested both the Virginia State Police and the Maryland State Police to deploy officers, and they have engaged immediately to deploy officers to the Metropolitan Police Department to help regain control of the United States Capitol. I have also invoked several days ago a standing mutual aid agreement with our surrounding jurisdictions, and I want to thank them for deploying. Those jurisdictions include Arlington County, Montgomery County, Prince George's County, as well as Baltimore City. We want to thank them for sending their officers in, assisting us with public safety in the district, as well as the response to United States Capitol building. Additionally, I want to acknowledge and thank the New Jersey State Police, who will also be assisting the Metropolitan Police Department. So with that, I'm going to turn to Chief Conti for a situational update. Secretary of the Army will make comments, and we will take brief questions.
About to bring the hammer down.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Mayor Bowser. My name is Robert J. Conti III.
Four
I am the
police
Chief of
departments.
Police of the Metropolitan Police Department here in Washington, D.C. As you are aware, demonstrators came to our city this morning to exercise their First Amendment rights and were largely concentrated in the area of the National Mall. Following the president's remarks, a large crowd began to march eastbound on Madison Avenue Northwest and Constitution Avenue Northwest. As the demonstrators approached the United States Capitol grounds, there was a noticeable change in their demeanor. They breached the fencing along the U.S. Capitol grounds and confronted police lines surrounding the building. MPD was requested by the United States Capitol Police to provide assistance with crowd management, and due to the violent behavior towards the police officers there and their intent on gaining access to the Capitol, a riot was declared. It was clear that the crowd was intent on causing harm to our officers by deploying chemical irritants on police to force entry into the United States Capitol building. As you are aware, they were able to gain access to the Capitol building, and I can confirm that one civilian was reported to have sustained a gunshot wound inside of the Capitol. Details of the shooting are not immediately available, and the situation remains under investigation. The Metropolitan Police Department...
And there you have it from the Chief of Police. There's confirming that one person was shot inside the Capitol, D.C. Mayor.
So, yeah. I do want to read out a comment there if I can see. Glover Mom says, I hate when people use the term unpatriotic because they don't like what's happening. I get it, but that should not be said to anyone, no matter who it is. I absolutely agree. And I've said this earlier. The occupation of state buildings, the occupation of political buildings is absolutely nothing new. The question is over violence and how much violence has taken place, and we won't know that for several days. They're doing it because they see a problem. And as I said earlier, I don't think anyone actually believed that they would get as far into the building as they did. And so, again, that has to be taken into account. I don't deem it unpatriotic. I'm not even opposed to occupations of public buildings because it is a form of protest, and it's seen up and down this world, right across this world, by a number of different, both left, right, center of the road. So demonizing people for entering a state building, it's muddy waters, because when you get into that kind of layer and say, oh, it's unpatriotic to do this, it lessens the idea of patriotism and what it actually means to be unpatriotic. These people are protesting because they see a huge problem, and they are going to do anything that they can to explain that there's a problem. I'm happy that there's 4 police departments now being brought in to reestablish order. So we'll see what form that takes. But I've already seen the MPD, the Metropolitan Police Department, have already started to push people back. And with another 3 police departments, I don't see if New Jersey, if Maryland, and there's another one that was mentioned,
Virginia.
Virginia. If those police departments are deploying all that they have, then I don't see this the National Guard being needed.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if the narrative is backed up by, like, because it sounds like he was saying that the Capitol Police that initially clashed with the protesters, protesters used pepper spray on them. He said something like chemical irritants on them. So that'll be interesting. It's like, okay, well, it's one thing to enter and occupy a building. It's another thing to pepper spray your way through the cops to get into that building. So,
all right, so
it'll be interesting to see if they actually back that up.
I'm going to venture into some grounds here because I've been an activist. I haven't been an activist for a long time, but I've participated in some activist events in my life, and so I agree. Like, the First Amendment is vital, right? Like activism and expressing your First Amendment rights is vital, and that should be like protected at all costs. But when is it protesting and when is it insurrection? Because again, the intent of the protest here, I think, matters vitally when we're talking about this. It's not like they're not protesting, equality for human beings. They're protesting the fact that they have, you can argue, been misled, but they believe in election fraud that's not there. And they think that the election should be overturned. And they're now using violent means to express that. So what is insurrection? And is this not it? Because I think Biden's wording was very strong, and I actually agree with him on it.
It could have been stronger.
But I mean, when he used that word insurrection, though,
yeah,
that's very strong language.
It is a strong word to use. I mean, I'll take a few seconds to calm down, because mainly the reason I jumped on was I just got like so infuriated when I saw that thing that Trump put up on Twitter a little while ago. And it was just, to me, it was so goddamn inflammatory that, but as Keela's saying, occupations and that are are a form of protest. And hands up, I've participated in attempting to occupy council chambers in Southampton before. I'll hold my hands up. I've done. I certainly wasn't, doing anything violent. We went in there. We were very loud, but it was certainly nothing violent. This today was quite scary. I was watching Mindy's stream earlier, Sassy Heathen. I was watching her stream, and she was covering this earlier, and that it had like that. Was seeing that the reporters in there having to, the news reporter having to, hide behind a desk or whatever, because we didn't know if these guys were armed or not. It was scary to watch this. And
but
we know,
I'll take you back. I'll take you back to 2010. I'll take you back to 2010 in London. And I was watching, as most people were, in November, the takeover of, I think it was the Tory building by students.
Okay. Yeah.
And
do you
during
want to
the
know?
student protest.
Yeah. Do you want to know something? I know the student who was jailed there at that. Or at least I used to know. I haven't seen him in a long time. The kid who threw the fire extinguisher off the top of the building.
Yeah,
I happen to know him.
So, but I think the point of it is, and I'm not in defense of what they've done. I'm not opposed to occupation. As I've said, to me, it's a legitimate form of protest. The question is over the use of violence. Violence will be, from what we hear from the mayor, from what we've heard from other people, anyone that has engaged in violence will be prosecuted and will be followed up. And I hope that happens. But I'm reminded of the students on that day, and the majority of students, even if they did enter that building, because I did run interviews with some of them after the event, and when they got into the building, the Tory building, they didn't realize that they would, one, get into the building at all, and two, that it would be taken as far as it did. So you go along with this movement, you go along with the adrenaline that goes with it, and you don't realize until afterwards, oh, holy shit, that just happened. And you're not really associated with the violence attached to it. That's not to say that any one of that crowd would not turn violent at the drop of a hat. They could. And as you said, there was no indication whether or not they had weapons. But
No, I mean, I've been in. Yeah, I mean, I've been in enough.
But you have to distinguish, and over the next few days, instead of going out of your mind saying, "Holy crap, this happened! Holy crap, this happened!" and "Isn't this disgusting?" or "Isn't it?" and overreacting, you have to understand, or what I hope will happen is that people will learn to distinguish those who were there because they genuinely felt that democracy as they know it is gone. In which case, they went along to that building. They followed the crowd, and it wasn't their intention. I would hope. I hesitate to say it wasn't their intention to be violent, and they were just swept along by the crowd.
I would. Noodles had her hand up. Yeah.
Yes. Definitely wants to say something. I think.
Respectfully, I disagree with you on the thing that the only issue here is the violence. We've all taken part in protests. We've all done that. Okay. What we haven't done is done it on a day where that would literally try to dismantle a democracy. The timing of this is all important.
Agreed.
This is what they're trying to do, and that's what makes this more than just an occupation or a protest. That's what makes this, frankly, as they're saying, an insurrection, an act of sedition. This is what is going to... They are essentially saying that they are no longer willing to respect the democratic processes of the United States of America. That is not a protest. That is basically, and I'm going to say it outright, that's an act of war.
I honestly think we've excused their behavior for too long. They're so quick to call an Islamic extremist a terrorist, and yet these white right-wing terrorists in our country in the United States. That's the terrorists we have to worry about, and it's time that we stop running away from that. Like, they literally tried to take our capital. They were going to execute Gretchen Whitmer in our state capital. I'm telling, I don't know. Like, I've been on the wrong end of some police brutality doing some activism. And this little soft Peter approach they're taking with these guys so far disgusts me. It disgusts me.
They're hunting for bombs in DC right now. They're expecting to find bombs. People have been shot. There's all this violence going on. This is not just a protest anymore. This stopped being a protest when they had to take the senators out of there. Because at that point, they began to interfere with actual democracy and constitutional issues. Now, it was a while ago, but I studied the American Constitution and electoral processes well enough to know that this is not accidental. And while we're all sat here watching DC, has anyone checked what's going on in Georgia right now? Because I know
Jefferson did announce that Ossoff won. Yeah,
I haven't heard the latest.
All of this is connected, and it's national in America, and this is going to go national if they don't get a lid on it quickly. And frankly, that speech Trump just made, I said it on Twitter, okay, and I will say it again. For that speech Trump just made, when all this is over and they arrest his ass, Trump better be facing charges of treason for that speech. Because he is inciting further violence. He's claiming he's calling for peace, and he's wrapping it up in propaganda to make the people stay there. He's sending double messages, and he's using the national media to do it.
It was so damn passive aggressive, that shit, wasn't it? He was doing it. Was.
Is he so delusional? Is he so delusional that he believes it?
No, I don't think he is.
I think he might have. I think he may have convinced himself of it by now.
I think so. Over the last couple of weeks, I say, I would love to give him credit and say no, he doesn't believe it, but he is actually that kind of person that he believes his own hype. It's like Lukashenko in Belarus. He believes his own hype. He always has believed his own hype. Even as his businesses were sinking down the drain, he believed he was the best businessman in the world, and that's why he did the Apprentice.
And
Because
he just, yeah, I mean, and we know historically this guy's ego is so the idea like he cannot take losing at anything. I mean, I've brought this up a number of times on different streams. He's been discussed. I don't think people remember the fact that he got at the US Football League, which was a rival football league to the NFL for a couple. He was one of the owners. He got them into a massive lawsuit with the NFL, which pretty much helped bankrupt the USFL. I think they won it, and they won the total amount of damages they won was like $3 or something. It was and they spent millions on this. And this was all because he was pissy because the NFL wouldn't let him buy one of the teams, and that's all this was over.
So Julie LaVoice says now the mob is moving to the Supreme Court across the street.
Folks, not to Ring's just gone live, and he's talking about it from the point of view of a former intelligence analyst.
Who's just gone live?
Ring has just gone live on his channel.
Okay.
That's okay.
Popping over there, are you? Or
I am going to drop out because I'm going to watch that. I'd like to see his point of view from a professional point of view there.
Yeah,
just everyone, wherever you are, stay safe, take care. And let's just hope we all get through
there's
this.
a little too many people in here for him to I suppose.
Well, it's more. I'm going to have to wind up anyway because I have put off dinner for far too long.
Food is
go over and watch.
Me too.
Go over and watch One Ring stream, man.
So can people put the link in the side chat there?
Yes. Can someone put the link in?
I'll drop it in the side chat. I've got it copied already. It's there. If someone can drop it into the main comments for anyone watching.
Yep.
I can't at the moment because I'm on my phone. But
I'll have an open room at 7 where we're talking about today's events as well. So come join.
Well, I was just sort of sitting back watching this and wasn't going to drink today. Then I saw that little 1 minute video from Trump outside.
Shit, I wish I could. I wish I could.
I shouldn't, but I am.
I'll drop out. I'll drop out as well then, guys. Thanks for letting me in because I probably needed to vent. So, cheers.
Venting is always necessary.
Yeah, so,
it is.
Okay, so I'm going to go over and watch Rings in a second. Then when you wind up, so
Okay, I'm going to say thank you very much for coming. Thank you guys for joining in at the last minute. And we will see you all for normal things at a normal time.
Hopefully.
Thanks for everyone in the live chat, and especially thanks to the mods for managing to keep the live chat under some modicum of control.
I was just saying, you had so many people in chat. Could we have like this many people turn up to one of your quiz streams?
we need riots for that, apparently.
We need a Turkish website promoting you for your
somebody nick the link for that Turkish website, and every time Dave goes on, post it in there.
All right.
Dave, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming. Thank you, everyone else.
See you all later. Bye.
All right, y'all have a good one.
Thank you very much. Bye.